Well, Don, it's always a sad day when a player says they're announcing their retirement, and that's come to you this time. Just sum up the feelings.
I've had a while to think about it and not have to bring up the emotions now, but obviously it's 9 years of Chiefs and actually a lifetime of rugby that I'm calling to an end. Full of sadness, and if I keep talking down that route, I'll probably end up bringing some emotions that I can't fight up. So, it's done a lot of reflection. Didn't come to this decision easily, but it's the right thing for myself and my family, and I'm just full of gratitude at the moment.
I'm going to take you back to the beginning. The first point, rugby comes into your life. Just sum up what it's done for you ever since then.
It's made me a way better person than I think I could have been in other routes. I think there's so many valuable lessons I've learned through failing, through working, having to work hard, through being forced to work hard, through seeing other people that you have massive influences in your life as you go through, all from different aspects, character-wise, working, like professionalism, and in weird ways, and also from the negative side, you have influences that you learn from that you don't want to be, and you get exposed to all sorts of characters. So, rugby has definitely helped me end up being a better person, and that's probably what I'm grateful for.
The early part of your career is dominated around South Africa, and then you've made the decision all those 9 years ago, to come here. Just sum up what life at the Chiefs has been for you.
Out of this world. Someone said before I came over that it would probably be the best club other than my uni club that I could come to. It would be the closest to, and they were spot on. And I do call that person the Oracle. They were spot on. So in terms of the community, the supporters, the club in general, the people within the club, kind of fit right into the mold of what I was used to and thrived in South Africa. So I'm super grateful for the club allowing me to wear the badge, represent them on the field. Hopefully I've been able to on and off the field, in terms of being able to carry forward all the passion and stuff that the people that were here before me brought into the club.
Exeter's become home, not just for you, but for Ray, for the kids. Yeah. It's your base now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely. It's. I always wanted to make sure I settled roots down for my family. I think it's quite an important aspect in anyone's upbringing. So, I'm very grateful that we get to settle in down the road, and there's so much exciting things happening there. But I'm grateful that my family is able to settle down here, stay close to something that's been a massive part of my life, my family's life, but also my kids' life, and that's something that I'm very happy that I've managed to produce for them, or that we as a club have managed to produce for families like myself, where my kids have that massive development phase where they've got someone like Chiefs to represent a lot of their core memories and all that kind of stuff. So
you've been on this magnificent journey with the club. We've all been lucky to be part of it, but you were part of that first major win in 2014, 2017 final. Bit of heartache after that, and then obviously you played a big part in getting that double success to the club. Huge memories.
Yeah, I mean, the success of the club is something that's going to last far beyond any individuals that played a role. And I'm grateful that I played a role, but I probably won't be shouting about the role I played going forward, because I think that's really important. That's the club's journey. What I'm super grateful is probably the memories I made, along that the people I interacted with, the influences that they had on me then. Those kind of things, they will last a lifetime. And whether I was playing in a game or not, watching from the sidelines, I definitely felt part of it. And those feelings are things that I'll take with me and probably use to help me develop going forward. Myself, my family, my kids, bringing them up, knowing the satisfaction that you get from that from being involved, or from having that in your book of like achievements kind of thing. So it's been great to be a part of those kinds of things.
You also leave as an international rugby player, something you probably never dreamt about.
No, I never dreamt about it. Let alone being Zimbabwean and in South Africa, definitely not for England. But people change, circumstances change, and I'm very fortunate to be able to get an opportunity to play an international capital too, and something that I'll probably reflect on in 10 years' time more than I will now. I'm just happy to see our boys being successful in there too.
For the last 9 years, you've walked into this place pretty much every day, knowing what you've got to do. You've made lifelong friends. How will you transition away from that now? Because that's been your life, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, probably learn that when you're not walking in here every day, it's you have to put more effort into the guys that you want to see more. But then understanding that, you know, there's friends that I have that'll be walking here every day, carrying on with their daily routine, and suddenly I'm adjusting, and I'll have to make a plan to try and fit it in. But also outside of it, I've got a very good group of friends. I've got my family. I've got lots going on that it will give me a good enough structure, I think, to keep me on par, keep me on course, and just try and enjoy things and try and enjoy looking back over the last 9 years here. But, you know, even 25 odd years of rugby, and just hoping that I can get to a place where I can reflect and be proud of what I've done.
As a pro sportsman, I guess you know that there'll be a day when you have to say goodbye, and you've obviously got your head around that. What is next for you? What's the next plan for Don Armand?
The world's my oyster. It's probably first and foremost is even further into the development of myself, because I think that's going to be key in whatever I do. I've obviously got my brand that I'm trying to start up called GAS, the Gaming Athlete, and we're trying to take a step forward and be brave in that like gaming world, and saying health and wellness is important. I'm trying to grow a brand where, you know, people kind of enjoy being part of it, but then also get value out of it. So I've got that, which I'm trying to get my head around. Got to learn the whole. It's basically like starting in under 9 rugby. You have to learn the basic skills, and that's around that in terms of learning business and all that kind of thing. I've got some amazing people that are helping out with trying to help me grow, trying to not spoon feed me, because you can't really do that, but just giving me wise learns from failings they've had, and just a bit of a step up. I've got my wife's business, which I'm hoping to be able to give her more time to do, and then we also hire out a pool, which I think is lovely. It's a lovely pool, and yeah, those are the kind of things I'll focus on from a business point of view, amongst other things that will develop as we go. The future is bright, but like I said, I think what for me is most important is really focusing on development of self. We've got a huge rugby identity, which is going to be no more in 2 months' time, and that can either be a very scary prospect and very challenging, but I hope that I'm going to be approaching that the right way, that actually that rugby identity forms a small part of who I am and not my whole part, and kind of take the bull by the horns and really use it as a step up and be grateful for the opportunity and the choice that it's given me going forward.
There's probably a huge list of thanks you want to give, but just single out some people that you think have done so much for you in terms of your career.
You can probably edit this down. I mean, it goes first and foremost to be the coaches that I had when I was young. They taught me a lot. Actually, all my coaches, I don't want to single coaches out. Everyone's played a significant role in what I've done. My time at UCT was probably the most life-changing one. So Ike Tigers, where I had a guy like John Dobson, John LaRue, and people that were involved there that got me a bursary by a family called the Van Rienens, and their son Charlie died in the Bali bombings, and in his memory start up a bursary for people that wanted to play rugby and study, and I was the first recipient of that. And without that intervention, I wouldn't have been able to carry on playing at UCT. And then, I mean, if you go further back than that, we talk about sacrifices of my mom and family, so my wife, you know, those kinds of things that people have played a really core role in making sure that I have the ability to be able to focus on working hard and performing on the field. You know, I've had the right influences around me to be able to do that, and I probably wouldn't be able to thank enough people to do that. But, you know, consistently has been my mom, consistently has been my wife. People have played roles in and out, you know, all the coaches here, all the boys here, friends and that kind of stuff. But I think obviously it'd be harsh to not mention the people that have been there from the beginning, and actually just made big sacrifices in order for me to be able to achieve this.
Don, you've got 2 months left as a chief. You can play your part, you can still be in and around the place. You want to go out with a bang, and what will be the memories that you leave of this place, or what can we say in terms of memories?
Once a chief, always a chief though, so no, I mean, I've picked up the wrist injury, and that's my season done. I tried my best to try and play through it, but it took a while to make that decision, try to play through it. It didn't work. So unfortunately, my role comes now completely different, where I'm trying to make sure I've got as good a relationship with the boys as possible, helping guys out from an off-field aspect, because realistically that's the only thing I can do. Memories that we'll take, obviously, if we want to end on a high, we've got all to play for, and it's such an exciting end this season. And it'll be great for the guys that are involved and have played a big role and play on the match day. But obviously for me, it'll be, again, the memories, making sure that I connect with those people, because the way life goes is when I'm out of it, it's out of sight, out of mind, as it should be. I'll keep connected with hopefully as many boys as I can, but it's those memories I know, trying to live in the moment, be as present as I can, so I can take those things with me. So when life changes, I can look back and go, actually my last impression of when I was around the boys was fantastic. And then, like I said, in 10 years' time, I'll look back on the wins, the performances, what we've achieved, and then I'll be like, oh, that's great, now let's do a reunion and talk about those. But I think for me, first and foremost is I'm privileged. This is looking at the positives. I'm privileged enough to be able to come in every day, still 2 months on my as a player, and I can actually focus on what's really important in terms of being present, happiness, and connecting, because I can't focus on working hard and being ready for playing on the weekend. And just playing is as valuable bits as I can, but enjoying it and really just savouring it, being in the moment. I don't want to look back in 5 years' time being like, gee, because I wish I just enjoyed those last 2 months instead of sitting around being sad because I wasn't involved. So yeah, probably that's the direction I'll go.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much.